Hello, everybody. Hey, Chevy Chow. I'm going to turn this around for a second. So we're starting. Hello there, Kate. Hey, Zarafif. Hey, as you're coming in, give me a shout out. Hey, Jessica. Let me know where you're coming from. We're very excited to have everyone here today. We're going to be talking about this topic of the true definition of beauty. And definitely, if you've not liked our page before, please favorite our page, and we're going to have a great time here today. I'll turn this around so you can see. Hey, thanks for the hearts. So let's see. Jessica's coming from, I'm trying to look here with my phone. Oh, wow, Australia. That's excellent. And Kate's here. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, give me a shout out. Australia. Fantastic. Wow. Well, it's great. Well, I do have worldwide practice that way, and it's great to see you guys coming in. So thank you. Thank you so much. Let me turn this around. I'll flip. There we go. Okay, you can, I think you can see me now. Is that right? If you can see me, give me a couple hearts if you can see me, if this is working okay, and you can hear me okay. Excellent, excellent. So we're giving a talk today about this idea of the true definition of beauty. We're going to start here a little bit. If you've never been on my scope before, definitely I want to, definitely favorite this page, and you'll see the I gave us a little option here. Instead of hearts, if you might see some bats going by for Halloween. So if you really have fun, you can give lots of hearts, and some will come up as bats going by too. So anyway, this is going to be a great talk here today, and I'm going to give the talk, and then we'll have time for questions afterwards. But I want to welcome everyone here, and this is good for all the live viewers and all the replay viewers. You guys, I'm really excited for you to have you on the talk here today. So let me flip this back here. Okay, so you can see that screen okay? Everyone can see that? Give me a couple hearts if you can see that, and maybe a couple bats if you can. Is that coming by? Yeah. Those are cool bats. Okay, so we'll start here just in a few minutes. I want to just make sure everyone's on, and this is actually part of a book that I wrote that we'll talk about. I actually have a special offer here in a little bit on Amazon. You can get the book there, but I'll have a special offer for everyone who's watching this Periscope today. And it's a really interesting topic because we think we know what beauty is and all in the eye of the beholder, but there's some deeper things that I'm going to educate you about here today that I think you'll find very interesting. So just an intro, a little bit about me. My specialty is in facial plastic. Well, hello there. Let's see. Eat, Train, Win. Hello there. Excellent. It's good to have you guys on here. Oh, thanks for all the hearts and the bats. So, my specialty is in eyelid and facial plastic surgery. And for me, the things I do is never really about vanity for me. It's really about communication for me. It's about helping the world relate better to my patients. And that's part of what we're going to talk about here today. And thanks for all the hearts and the bats that go by. I think that's pretty cool. You can give those two fingers, real quickly, and you can see them come by. Sometimes you'll get some bats. And there's hello, Pink 2015. Thanks for joining us. So we're going to get started here a little bit. And once again, I have an offer for you guys. Tony Martinez and JepSap88. Thanks for joining us. Very exciting. We're gonna have. You guys like the bats there? Different colored bats. I think they have. I've heard about chocolate ones that come to. Hey, Angie 103. Welcome. So we're starting here soon, and Alaskan 77, very good. Oh, there goes a red bat. That's pretty cool. Anyway, so Fitz Bubbles is joining us. That's great, and very excited. So anyway, I was saying about my specialties in helping people communicate better with the outside world. That's what it's about. It's not vanity. It's communication for me. So what we're going to do, I think we have a good intro here, and if you've not favorited the page, please do that. I love the hearts going by. Please share this with people that you know too. Seattle, I see you there. Darcy Owens, great to see you. And okay, so let me get started here. I'm going to go over to my computer here. I'll go to the first slide. So this is me, and I have a specialty in laser, eyelid, and facial plastic surgery. I actually have kind of worldwide practice for things I've been known for. So okay, so we'll start here. So there's actually an interesting paper that was written by a colleague of mine named Jemshed Khan. Hello, Julie Raps. We started our talk here. And he wrote this paper called Aesthetic Surgery, Diagnosing and Healing the Miscues of Human Facial Expression. Now, the face is really an organ for communication. We have all these messages in the face. We don't often think about that, but it's really an organ for communication. That's how we relate to each other. And the interpretation of these facial messages is really innate. I mean, it's hardwired into us. Now, sometimes with age, or sometimes the way we're born, we can have messages that our faces send, thanks for all the love there, guys, that are not in balance with the message that we feel inside. So if we look tired and we're not tired, that's frustrating. I think, did some of you see this YouTube video called The Resting Bitchy Face? Did you guys then see that? You can comment to me if you've seen that. It's a really funny video by this comedian. So right now, so here we go. So anyway, in that same thing about that people have said about resting bitchy face, where they look bitchy when they're not, well, that's this malposition we're talking about. So most of the things I think I do facially is about realigning these messages. So there's a book by a woman named Nancy Eckhoff called The Science of Survival of the Prettiest, The Science of Beauty, and she looked at a societal view of beauty. And I'll turn this around so I can for a moment. Okay. So the importance of beauty is recognized throughout the ages. When Aristotle was asked why people desire physical beauty, he responded, no one who is not blind could ask that question. And then according to Dr. Etkoff, on a practical basis, we're constantly evaluating each other by the attractiveness of the people that we see. So let me turn this around for a second. So in a nursery, more beautiful babies get more attention than less attractive babies. And I think this is interesting. We try and please people that we find attractive with no expectation of immediate reward or reciprocal gestures. So most of the facial surgery then is about communication. Oh, hey Kim, good to see you on here. Wonderful. So we're into the lecture here, and so what are the characteristics of an attractive human face? Is this always just the eye of the beholder, right? Right, so is this just the eye of the beholder? Is there something deeper here that we're talking about? And that's what I want to bring out to you. I think there is something deeper here. So let's go back. I'll flip the slide again. So, and I want to take you back, guys. I'm going to take you back to the 1200s in Pisa, Italy. And that's actually a picture of me in Pisa a couple years ago. I was giving a talk there at the University of Siena. In Pisa, Italy, this was actually city-states back then. They weren't just, there wasn't really a place where it was just Italy, it was these city-states. Well, Leonardo Fibonacci, okay, he comes from that area, and he actually, let me turn this around. So Leonardo Fibonacci, he actually came from that area, and he came from an upper middle class family. He actually went over to Italy, to India and to Asia, and he brought back mathematical concepts back to his home country. And he wrote a book here, I'll turn this around, called Liber Abaci. And interestingly, we went to Italy. My wife was very excited about going to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which I thought was cool. But I really liked the fact that I was able to see Leonardo Fibonacci's statue there, because it meant a lot to me. So in this book, Liber Abaci, he actually had a sequence of numbers that he has called Fibonacci's sequence. It goes as follows: 1 + 1 = 2, 1 + 2 = 3, 2 + 3 = 5, and so on. So that's the sequence there. If you divide these numbers by themselves, they actually come up with this ratio of 1 to 1.618. And they thought this was a divinely inspired ratio. Hey, thanks for the hearts and for the and for the bats going by, guys. I really appreciate that. So the reason they thought this was divinely inspired, right? Let me turn this around. Second. So they thought this was divinely inspired because when they looked in nature, a lot of things in nature had this ratio. They looked at the internal parts of a flower to the external parts of a flower, and it had this ratio. Around again. So you can see here the internal parts of the flower, the external parts of the flower. Now with curves, you can define, with numerical sequences, you can define a curve, and they found the curve matched the curve of the nautilus, which matched the curve of the helix of the ear. So when they were doing this, when they were using these ratios, they did a lot of paintings according to these ratios. So Mona Lisa's face has a lot of these ratios of 1 to 1.618. Same with the Last Supper. When they made Notre Dame or the Parthenon, they had a lot of these same ratios there. And so interestingly, it makes sense that when they started to evaluate faces, when they were painting, that they started to use these ratios when people were painting, and they can analyze faces this way. And so regardless of a person's ethnicity, right, if they have more of these ratios in their face, they're seen as more attractive faces. So there's a mathematical basis to this. I think it's really interesting. Okay, so let me turn this around. Okay, it's not all mathematics, right? There is something else going on here. And the other thing is that we do get influenced by the media and the icons that it shows to us. And the media has this roving eye. It's constantly showing us kind of the today's it guy or girl. And so we are influenced by that. That does affect us. I'll turn this around. So if we look at our icons, we can actually learn a little bit about what our subjective base of beauty is. And here we have Julia Roberts, right? And she has a lot of the classic characteristics of female beauty. So we have here, she has a large, smooth forehead and a smaller nose. It makes her eyes seem farther apart. She has a gull-wing shape to her brow. She has a nice, smooth vermilion jawline and a nice vermilion border. If we contrast this, right, to Brad Pitt, we see some differences, right? Does he have an arched brow, guys? You can quote. Does he have an arched brow? Let me know. What do you think? Right, no, right, exactly, no. Right, he has a straight across brow, right? His nose seems bigger, so his eyes seem closer together, and he doesn't have a tapered jawline, has a more square jawline. Now, if we compare Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, we see a lot of these differences between men and women. She has an arched brow, he has a straight across brow. Her nose seems smaller, so her eyes seem farther apart. His nose is bigger, so his eyes seem closer together. She has a tapered jawline, and he has a square jawline. Okay, so this is the first thing I want to tell you about. This is an interesting study that was done. Okay, so do you guys see this picture here? You see those two pictures? Let me know if you see the pictures. Give me a couple hearts if you can see the pictures. Great. Okay, so now you can all chime in. Which one is the man and which one is the woman? So this one here is which one? The one on the left. What do you say? Woman or man? Let me hear you. In the comments, let's go. Woman or man? What do you think? This picture right here, is that the woman or the man? Female, right. Woman, you guys, yes. Okay, so let's talk about this. Right, woman. Right. This is great, guys. Okay, right. And this looks like the man, right? Do you agree? That looks like the man, right? Great. Well, I'm going to let you into something, okay? It's actually the picture of the same person. You're going to go, what? Yes, it's the picture of the same person. And what they did is they digitally darkened the lip area and the eye area in this photo compared to this photo. So it's actually the same photo, but they digitally changed it. And this is, I want to try and show you what's underneath the covers. How does our brain interpret each other's, right? Each other when we're looking at each other. So women intrinsically, you guys, all the women in the house, right? You guys actually have more contrast to your lip and eye region as compared to men. Men, I'll turn this around, hold on. Men, we're more one color, right? We're more one color. Women, intrinsically, you guys have more contrast to the eye region and the mouth region. And I think you know that intrinsically because you'll wear eyeshadow and lipstick and these things to feminize you. And I'll actually flip this around. And this is shown here. So here's Jessica Biel, and you can see her with and without makeup, right? It looks a little better with makeup, right? Because it feminizes the face more. Okay. So the eyes are the window of the soul. Does everyone know who this is? You guys know? I mean, this is an older photo, but anyone want to put in the comments, you know who this is? Anybody? Elizabeth Taylor. This is Elizabeth Taylor back in the day. Right, there we go, Liz Taylor, right. And she was beautiful. And she used to, really her eyes were one of her key parts of her face. And so the eyes are really critical. And actually, we look at each other, our brain looks at each other's eyes and mouth first. We look at the eyes and mouth. And then we kind of evaluate the skin and facial contours. I wrote a blog one time about our central face, about facial transplants. Because I went to this talk at one point, and turn this around here. I went to a talk by a facial plastic surgeon who did the first face transplant. His name was Daniel Alam. He's from Cleveland Clinic. He actually did the first transplant on a woman named Connie Culp. I'm actually involved with domestic violence in my community with the Spring of Tampa Bay, which is a great community. Helps a lot of people in domestic violence situations. Anyway, Connie Culp was the victim of domestic violence, and her estranged husband took a shotgun to her face and really affected her face. She went through 19 surgeries, and if you knew Connie, you would still be friends with her. But if you didn't know Connie, her face was so misshapen that it was hard for her to build new relationships. And the interesting part is that she underwent the first transplant. And one thing you have to know about transplants is that a transplant doesn't last forever. That's number one. And number two, the medications that you go on to help a transplant to have it survive will shorten a person's life. And so the question is, why did she do this? Why did she shorten her life if she still had her own family around that could be friends with her, because life is about these new connections, right? It's about the new relationships that we're building with each other. And that's what I love to do. This is why I wrote about this, because I think there's a spectrum between facial transplant and the facial rejuvenation that I do. So let me go back here. So what he said was, and you see our president here, Barack Obama? So he said, when we are looking at each other, and I believe this too, when we look at each other, we concentrate on this part of the face. This is what our brain sees, this part of the face, the eyes and mouth. And interesting, if you take this part of Barack Obama, because this is what's important in a face transplant, and we put it on another person. Now, I want to see in the comments, do you guys still see Barack Obama there in that picture? Let me know. Give me some hearts and a couple comments. Do you guys see Barack Obama still in that picture? Right, isn't it interesting? You kind of know it's not Barack Obama, the whole thing, but the central part, because that's what your brain is focusing on. You're focusing in on the eyes and mouth region like we all do. And that's great, guys. And do you know who it is, guys? Put in the comments. Who do you think it is? Anybody? I'm waiting for it. I'll show you if you don't know. Did anyone know who's being? Oh yeah, that's right. I saw it there. So lean green girl, she got it. Yes, Brad Pitt. That's right. It was funny. I was giving this talk in Italy one time, and I decided to use this example with a soccer player, a very famous soccer player in Italy. Anyway, there was a quote. Do you guys know the actress Jamie Lee Curtis? Give some hearts if you know Jamie Lee Curtis. Do you know about her? Right, Jamie Lee Curtis. So Jamie Lee Curtis actually had a quote. She said, "The first thing I look at in a woman is her soul, and then I check her eyebrows." Do you like that? So this is a patient of mine. Can you see this picture? So this is a patient, and she said that everyone was telling her that she was stern and serious all the time. Does she look kind of stern to you? What do you think? Some comments there. Does she look stern to you guys? Yeah, it is a great quote. Yes, it does a bit stern, right? So I said, I think I know what's going on here. I said, I'm looking at these facial ratios, and if I could change one thing about her, right, which I did, does she seem more approachable in the second photo there to you guys? Does she seem more approachable? Like if you were in a party, would you rather maybe talk to the person here than the person here? Right? Yeah, the resting bitchy face, right? Okay, I'm going to talk about what we did here, but this was not surgery. But she found that after I helped her with this, that the world was relating to her in a better way. And let me just go back here. And this is what I'm talking about. It's not vanity, it's communication, right? It's communication. That's what I'm really talking about here. And so for me to be able to help so that the world can relate to her better, that's what I love doing. Okay, so let's go back. Remember we were talking about those ratios before. Remember this curve of Fibonacci we were talking about before? Do you remember that? Yes? Do you remember those numbers? Okay, now look at this. If we take this part of the curve, you see that part of the curve? And you put it on this part of the brow, do you see how it brings back that ratio? So that's what we're doing here. We're actually bringing back this ratio back to our face, these ratios, and that's what's critical. The more ratios we can bring back to the face, the more attractive our human brain evaluates that face as being, right? Is this interesting? I'm showing you underneath the covers of how our brain works. Well, here's another set of series. These are photos. This was done in Germany. These were pictures that were digitally changed. Each one was a little closer to those golden ratios I was talking about. So they changed this one to this one, a little more of the ratios. And I will ask you, out of all these numbers, which are the two that you find most attractive in terms of this photo? And you guys can put in the comments. Which ones do you think are most attractive? Go ahead, put it in the comments there. Which, 1 through 6, what do you think? 1 through 6? Anybody? 5 and 6, okay. 5 and 6, exactly. Well, this is an interesting thing. This was 10,000 German university students, and 100% of people chose 5 and 6. And hold on a minute, go back here. And the question is why? Why does our brain see that as more attractive? It's because it has those ratios. I'll go back here. It has those ratios. These are more of those ratios I'm talking about. When I do surgery, when I do in-office treatments, I'm always trying to reestablish those ratios because it gives results that are very powerful, yet subtle at the same time. And that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so here's another set of pictures. Do you remember the 80s, guys? Anybody remember the 80s? Anybody? Who remembers Rob Lowe in the 80s? Anybody? Rob Lowe in the 80s? Yeah, okay, good. So, oh, I like the chocolate ones going by. That's great. Okay, so this is Rob Lowe, and this is Brad Pitt, right? Who has the more classically male brow, and who has the more classically female brow? Who has the more female brow out of these two? Go ahead. Tell me, which one? Rob Lowe or Brad Pitt? Which one's more female, you think? Rob, right. Rob has the more one. Yes, Rob. Good guys, exactly. Rob Lowe, exactly. So here's the thing. Interestingly, I think what he was doing, let me click here for a second, is that he was actually plucking his brows to create a certain appearance that was more androgynous, and it was more dramatic. But yes, he's actually violating a little bit some of the tenets we say about male and female brows. So to go on, our appearance is very important in business. We are very social beings, and we're constantly evaluating each other for faces for communication cues. And our faces are a big factor in our nonverbal communication with others. When we speak, it's estimated that what is received by others is 7% is what we say, 38% is our verbal tone, and 55% is nonverbal communication. It's expressions, facial cues, body cues. When we see each other's eyes and mouth first, and that's what happens. Our brain, when you look at each other, you'll notice you're going to go back and forth between the eyes and mouth, okay? We then see kind of the skin and facial contours second. Our subconscious brain then tells our conscious brain, how do we feel about what we saw in those areas? And it influences us. And aging changes around the eyes and mouth and skin convey an impression of being tired, sick, and less vibrant. This is a patient of mine. She's actually an actress at Disney, and she was having trouble getting roles because of her appearance. And we'll talk about this, but improvements made, and let me go back here. So, right, she does look tired here. Do you agree with that? Give me a couple hearts or a couple bats if you think that she looks tired. There we go. Yes, and a couple comments, right. So she looks tired. No, she wasn't. She was a vibrant, very active person, and she was so full of energy, but we're influenced by images, right? When she looks tired, even though she feels wonderful inside, that's a disconnect. And let me go back. That's a disconnect, and that's what I love helping people, make those messages match better so that the face messages that are being sent is congruent with the way that people feel inside. I did help her, and I'll talk about that. So improvements made to the eyelid region, skin and mouth can have positive effects. Now, guys, there's simple things. You wear makeup, the women in the audience here, you wear makeup to the skin, the eyes or lips. That takes effect, takes impact on those two critical parts of our face for communicating. Wearing glasses, right? For a guy wearing a beard or facial hair, all these things, we focus on those areas. That can have an impact on our nonverbal communication in a positive way. With age, though, makeup and glasses aren't enough, and that's why people come to see me for help with my expertise at times. So this is our woman, and so she had, these things are called Festoons. I have an international practice doing this, so they're actually kind of hard to fix. I have a technique that's been helpful. And so you can see, she looks less tired here right now. And once again, she had this wonderful energy, and I love helping people this way. This is the kind of techniques that I'm known for. Okay, so those are called Festoons, and that was a way that I helped her. And now, as an actress, she's getting better roles now. You like those photos? Give me a couple hearts if you like those photos. Excellent. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Made Over Beauty. Pretty. I like that. Yes, I think she does look pretty. Excellent. Okay, I love the bats going by in different colors. Very cool. And I got this from Kim Garst. I'm going to shout out to Kim Garst, who's a fantastic social media consultant. You guys should definitely check her out. She's wonderful. And I learned this from her because she was telling me about, I watched one of her scopes and she was talking about the bats and putting Halloween on there. So shout out to Kim Garst there. Okay, and she has great ebooks that you can get from her site too. I think that would be, you'd love to find out about more of how to help in social media. Okay, so here is an appearance, a case study about appearance and social impact. So this is another patient of mine, and here are these same things. These are called Festoons. And I have a technique, once again, that's helpful in reversing this. It uses lasers, and I can make the skin turn around. Halloween, right, Kim? That's right. That's what I did. Exactly. I used the Halloween thing to, and I learned that from you, Kim. Thank you. Okay, so this is the same thing, the Festoons. And can you see the? Can you guys see the difference there? Give me a couple. Give me some bats if you can see the difference there. Maybe some hearts and some bats. There we go. Okay, great. Right, festoon, Festoon, festoons. They're, it's thought of as garlands, right, that hang down. So it almost looks like a garland that hangs down. It's, it's kind of a rough word for a facial appearance, but it is fitting. And as medical doctors, that's what we call them. So when I've been on a lot of national shows. When I was on the doctor's TV show, her name was Erin. That was the patient that I actually brought on the show with me. And yeah, I've been on different shows. I was showing the doctors how I do my techniques there. If you want, you can actually Google my name and the doctor's TV show, and you can see probably a clip from that show. Okay, so, let me come back here for a minute. Okay, just to make sure that you can see my face. Hi guys, how's everybody? Enjoying this so far? Is everybody enjoying this? Let me see some bats if you're enjoying this. Excellent. And I have a special offer for you at the end here. Oh, I like the chocolate bats, that's great. So, at the very end, I have a special offer, so stay tuned. It's coming up. And yeah, if you've not liked our page before, please do. Like this scope, share it if you can. I'd appreciate that to share. We're gonna have another scope coming up in a little bit, in a week or two. I want you to tune into. Oh, I like the chocolate one. That's great. Elaine Marie. Okay, great. So let's go back here. So the new research, as well as high-profile lawsuits, is raising new awareness of how looks hurt or help careers. This was actually done. This is really interesting. The Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis was actually doing a study. And guys, it's kind of strange that this is what our Federal Reserve Bank is doing, right? But it was looking at the links between appearance and wages. And they found that a person with a below average appearance earns about 9% less than someone with an average appearance. Do you find that interesting? And those with an above average appearance earn about 5% more, or a 14% swing between these two extremes, right? And I think that, we know this intrinsically. We say, yeah, people who look better get away with things, right? But there's real power to this. I mean, in terms of economics, this really does happen. And so that's what I love doing, helping people be a better version of themselves to help their career and to help themselves in the way they relate to the world. Okay, so I want to thank you for your attention. We're not done yet, but that is my book. It's on Amazon, called The True Definition of Beauty. And so what I have, interestingly, I wrote this book, right? And it was read by some people, and the New York Post had me evaluate the candidates for mayor based on their nonverbal communication. And then I had a photo editor create sort of a fake after result to simulate what they could do to communicate better with the electorate, right? So Anthony Weiner had some problems with his jawline and concastenation. So these are fake results, but interestingly, I didn't realize everyone who actually read the New York Post, but Howard Stern actually read it, and he called me. How many people like Howard Stern? Little hearts for Howard? Maybe some bats for Howard? So you can Google my name and Howard Stern, and you can find a clip to this too. But he had me evaluate him and Robin and Baba Booey and John Hein, and I tell you, it was tough being on his show because it was hard to get a word in edgewise with him. But it was a fun. Not a fan, yeah, I guess not. But it was fun. It was fun to be on there. I actually grew up in New Jersey, so I knew about him. Okay, so this one to say. So we now have. If you go to my site, and there it is, adamscheinermd.com, for you guys, everyone who's tuning into this post, right, there is a free book chapter you can get. So what you do is you go to this front page, and down here you type in your info here, and you'll get a book chapter, if you would like, from my book, The True Definition of Beauty. And I think you'll like that. So if you want to tune in there, you can get a free chapter. So everyone go online to adamscheinermd.com, and then I'm going to try and get to these questions here in a moment. It's hard to see them in the I have a stand that's keeping this up, but I'm sorry guys if I haven't answered everything here. I'll try and look at them in a moment. So you can ask them again in a second when we get back to the question and answer section. So here it is. Do you guys all have this? You have the information here on how to get this? Got to move on. I'll get back to this in a minute. Great. I love the hearts. Where's some? Oh, I like the bats. That's great. Okay. So my next Periscope is actually on Tuesday, November 10th at 11:30, a little earlier, and it's called What You Need to Know About Aging of the Skin. Guys, we don't realize how much we damage our skin all the time, and the sun is really the big part of that. I'm going to flip this for a second. So, we don't think about this. Have you guys seen this picture before? So this picture is of an Australian truck driver, and one side of his face faced the window where the sun came through, and this side didn't. Can you see the difference here, guys? between the side of the face that got sun and the side that didn't? How many people can see that? A couple comments there. Can you see the sun damage there? Yeah, it's pretty dramatic, isn't it? Right. And so I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about how our skin ages, and I'm going to tell you how to protect yourself and how to reverse aging. Okay? Because I have procedures that I use where I can actually reverse sun damage, and that's what I'm going to talk about too. I'm going to talk about the different options. How many of you guys like this photo here? This is a local patient. She was sent to me by her dermatologist because she had a lot of sun damage. She had a lot of lines. She had skin cancers in there, and I actually used this laser to improve her skin. So thanks for all the bats, guys. So I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about how our skin ages. Right? Let me turn this. Sorry, I'll get you back to the photo in a minute. But I'm going to talk about how our skin ages, and then different ways we can do. How can we protect our skin? How can we reverse sun damage? So that's our next Periscope. So if you tune in, you'll get to learn all about that. Let me go back. And thank you for the amazing comments. I know I love what I do. This is another patient who had this done. She was actually from Miami, and I do think it's kind of funny. It looks like her granddaughter, right? Do you agree? How many think that that looks? The one on the right looks like her granddaughter. Right, right. So this is the same laser procedure. So once again, that's the Periscope. It's going to be Tuesday, November 10th at 11:30, and what you need to know about aging. And if you come in that time, I'll be able to, once again, answer questions and give advice and such. I want to go back here just for a moment so you can see the free offer again. Okay, there's the free offer. And I'll leave this up for a moment. And then I will take this out of the holder and I will answer questions, okay? Hold on a second. Do you guys you're able to get this free book chapter? Okay, great. And once again, if you're new to me and have not, liked our Periscope feed, please do, and please share this with people after we're off on the replay. For your replay viewers, please come back to see this. Okay, so let me turn this. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take this off here for a second. Okay, so I can I can see now. So if people have questions, if you have questions, you can give that to me now. Hey, Amsir, you just came on, I guess. Mansur, great. Thanks for the hearts and everything. So we're going to be. I'm open to any questions that people have. So if I wasn't able to, is the book on Audible? No, not yet. Not yet. I've actually thought about that. But it's not Audible yet. It's on Amazon, and if you want to get the full book, you get it on Amazon. You can put in the True Definition of Beauty, and otherwise, get the free book chapter. Go to that website I was showing you. Let me show it to you again. Hold on. Go here, and you can get the free book chapter. Okay. Oh, that's really sweet. You think I have a nice voice? I could read it myself? Well, thank you. That's really sweet. So anyway, if you guys have questions, I have a little bit of time where I can answer some questions for you guys. And for all the people watching on the replay, thank you so much for joining us. And I would like it if you can share these things. So if there were some questions that came by, does anyone want to put in a question for me? Because I can answer a couple things. So some of the question is, how invasive are the procedures? I will tell you, that woman who raised the brow, that showed that with the Jamie Lee Curtis, that was actually done with Botox. I do something called a Botox brow lift, so that's not very invasive at all. And yes, love your coach. You can find it on the replay. And you can get the book chapter. Hold on, let me flip it again. So here it is. If you go to adamscheinermd.com, on the front page, if you type, here it says type your info here, that's where you'll get that book chapter. So if you go to my front page, you'll be able to get that book chapter. Is that helpful, guys? Okay, so one question is let's say, is how long is recovery? Depends on the procedures. I mean, some of my procedures, have about a 2-week recovery associated with it, and I can get rid of a lot of damage with my surgeries and the things that I do. So, other questions that we have, guys? I love all the chocolate. I love the chocolate going by. Actually, I love to bake. I love to bake. I love singing. Anyway, chocolate reminds me of times when I've worked with chocolate before. So seeing chocolate hearts and chocolate bats go by is really fun. So, well, I'll leave in another couple minutes here. You look forward to my next scope? Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. So if you don't sleep well, is that bad? Yeah, you should get enough sleep. Price range kind of varies, actually. It depends on what we're doing. I have things that are very in the hundreds and some things that are thousands. It kind of depends on what we're talking about. I do offer kind of consultations because I have a worldwide practice. People can send photos on my website and I can give assessments to people and then we can give more accurate prices on things. Okay, well, guys, I want to say thank you so much. If there are another question or two, I'll stay on for another. How hard is it to get rid of acne scarring was one of the questions. You know, we actually have all of these procedures where we improve the skin is about the following things, about wounding and repair. Oh, nice green bat, yeah. It's about wounding and repair. So if we can wound the skin a little bit, it can repair itself. I would tell you with acne scars, we actually have something called microneedling, which is a way of actually making the skin better. It doesn't have a lot of downtime, but it's been very helpful with acne scars. I like the chocolate and the lavender. I have a daughter, and she would love seeing all those things. Is Botox dangerous? No. Botox was first used for children, actually, for crossed eyes. And I treat my wife with that. I treat my mother-in-law, and I like her. And yes, we can help with freckles too. And Botox is really nice. It can help people with headaches. I'm located actually in Florida, in Tampa, Florida, but I have an international practice where I am, and people come to see me all over the world for the things that I do. And yeah, I'd be happy to be able to help you guys if you have questions on things. And if you're starting to see wrinkles under the eyes, I'll tell you the first thing, start wearing your sunglasses, right? Number one, start wearing sunblock every day. The sun is really a big part of how our skin ages. So if you can protect yourself from the sun, that makes a big impact on the way that you age. So. Yes, so one of the questions is, can it still be used for crossed eyes? And I had to switch hands here. My arm is getting tired. But yes, it can still be used for crossed eyes. Botox can, yes. Yeah, you should get sunglasses, though. It's really important. I mean, we have to protect our skin. It's really important. You know, that makes a big, big difference. I mean, I do things where I can reverse sun damage, but it's much better if you guys can protect it. That's the better way to do things. So. Well, hey guys, it was a wonderful time, being on this scope with you. Please tune in. Let me go back here because we have let me tip it. Okay, flip it. Okay, so once again, here's the free book chapter, AdamScheinerMD.com. The first page there, if you go there, you'll find the place to enter your information, down there. Okay, and that's how you get the free book chapter. And I'll be happy to give it to you. And here's our next Periscope, right? Talking about how do we reverse sun damage, right? How do I do that, right? How do we prevent sun damage? And so that's coming up Tuesday, November 10th, 11:30. And what you need to know about aging of the skin. And hey guys, I want to thank you. And thank you for all the love, and thank you for all the bats, I guess. Yeah, thanks for bats. And hopefully I can see you on the next Periscope, and definitely check us out. We have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter page, we have a Periscope. You can find us on social media. I have a lot of stuff out there. I have a YouTube page. You can find information, you can find videos. If you want to see me and Howard Stern, just put our names together in there. If you want to see me on Dr. Oz, put my name in there with Dr. Oz, or on the doctors, you put me in there. You can find me, a lot of videos out there. And it's been wonderful talking with you guys. And I read some of the comments. If there's another question, vitamin E help age damage? It's an antioxidant. If you eat vitamin E, it is an antioxidant. Along with vitamin C, that can be helpful, yes. And I will try and look at a lot of the comments later. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Download the free ebook and come back and check us out when we're here. Periscope, November 10th, 11:30. And guys on the replay, please enjoy this. And thanks guys. Hold on, flip it. Flip. Yeah. Thank you guys so much.